So I got these flowers for my mom for Easter, but before I give them to her, I decided might as well do the courtship book tag, and everyone knows a good courtship starts with some flowers. I'm not a big fan of killing beautiful things, which is why I got these potted, but if I was really planning this, I would have gotten a single red rose, maybe put it between my teeth. That's some real Disney style courtship right there, but hopefully these will do. So I was tagged by Peter Clark, the writer. He's a new booktuber and his channel is really great, so you guys should definitely check him out. The tag was originally created by Hi, I Love Books, and I'll link both their channels down below. So instead of questions, this tag has courtship phases. So phase number 1, initial attraction, a book that you bought because of the cover. And this one I'm going with an ember in the ashes, because just look at it. That thing is beautiful. And this one, I haven't read it. I just saw it on Twitter and literally immediately put it on my TBR. But it looks really cool. It sounds really cool. It's essentially about a slave and a soldier in a fantasy world that's built on the Roman Empire. So phase 2, first impressions. What's a book that you bought because of the summary? With this one, I'm going with Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. It's a post-apocalyptic story, which bang, got me right there. Like half of my books on this list are post-apocalyptic, which is probably a sign of what I think of when I think of my dating life. But this one's pretty cool because it actually follows an acting troupe in a post-apocalyptic society, and it's such a unique take on it that I'm really excited to read it. Phase 3, a book with great writing. This one, I'm going with The Age of Miracles by Karen Thompson Walker. This is a book I read a couple months ago, and while I didn't love the story, it's another post-apocalyptic, and it wasn't intense enough for me. The writing really is outstanding, and it's just beautifully spun, so I really enjoyed it just based on the quality of craft. Phase 4, first date. What's a book that made you want to read the rest of the series? This one, I'm going with City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, which really, if you've read The Mortal Instruments, the first 2 books really are incomplete. They don't have endings, they don't finish any storylines. And they're not really cliffhangers either. It's really the first 3 books are really all one big book. So I'd almost call this a tease of a first date, but sometimes that promise of something good happening is enough to keep you going, and it pays off in The Mortal Instruments. Now moving on to phase 5, we got Late Night Phone Calls, a book that kept you up reading all night long. And this one I'm going with Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeffer. And again, here we go with another post-apocalyptic book. And this one, again, focus on a younger protagonist. I think she's 13 or 14 years old. And even though nothing really intense happens in the books, it's so well written in terms of building the suspense, even though it doesn't necessarily pay off. There'd be times I'd be reading in the middle of the night and I'd have to remind myself that the apocalypse wasn't actually happening. And that was pretty cool in just the intensity of that felt experience, and kind of freaky too. Phase 6, always on my mind. What's a book that you just couldn't stop thinking about? And this one, I've got to go with Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. This is one of my favorite, maybe my favorite book that I've ever read. And it's just such an intellectual, in addition to a military sci-fi, it really gets you thinking about a lot of both strategy and also morals. It's just really excellently done and something I've revisited a lot and really just enjoyed exploring from new angles. And I think that's the best part, is when you get different experiences each different time you read it. Phase 7, getting physical. What's a book which you love the way it feels? And all of my books feel and look exactly like this. So this isn't really a big category for me. I gotta tell you, it's one of the things that I do miss about reading physical books, is that I don't like how hardcovers feel. Really, they look cool, but they're a pain in the ass. But I love those really old paperbacks where you get the yellowed, almost disintegrating pages. They're soft and chalky. I love those. Not a specific book, but just the entire, anything that's like 10, 20 years old is really cool. Phase 8, meeting the parents. What's a book you'd recommend to your friends and family? This one, you gotta go with Harry Potter, just hands down. There isn't a lot in my repertoire that I would just blanket recommend to anyone, especially because I range from YA to a lot more intense stuff. So you're getting stuff that would be great for one group is going to be terrible to another. But Harry Potter, just blanket appeal, really enjoyable. So there you go. Phase 9, thinking about the future. What's a book or series that you know you'll reread again and again and again? And this one is easy. Gotta go with Naruto, the anime, the manga. Watched it, read it for the first time about 14 months ago. I've already gone through the entire thing a second time. It just gets better and better. It's an amazing story that's really cool and just hits a lot of different levels. It's easy, there's a lot to consume, but it also has a depth to it that makes it so easy to come back to. So that's definitely what I'm going with. And finally, phase 10, share the love. Who do you want to tag? This one I'm going to tag a few people I haven't tagged before. I'm going with Katrina from Life is Cat, Reggie from Don't Stop Reading, and Laura from Bookies and Cookies. So keep being awesome, guys, and until next time, see ya.